A very good evening to you all, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this very exciting discussion of investment in international real estate. Do you know that India ranks 10 out of the top 15 countries for millionaires? Do you also know that around 4,300 millionaires are planning to migrate to other parts of the world in 2024 from India? In this expanding world of global diverse opportunities, a lot of Indians are exploring the opportunities of diversifying their real estate portfolio and investing abroad. And they're doing that for a multitude of reasons. Some of them, they want to diversify their investment portfolio. The others are looking at the permanent residences and golden visa programs that give a lot of benefits, including tax benefits, medical and educational advantages, better job opportunities, career opportunities, setting up businesses, living a better lifestyle, better climate, looking for children's education abroad, and a lot of other reasons. Today, we have with us eminent panelists from all over the world who are representing various countries and developers who are here to tell you about the advantages of investing in their country or the programs. And it's great to have all of them under one roof. So please join me in welcoming all the panelists, and we look forward to a very interesting discussion today. We begin with, starting with Vineet. Yes. Vineet is a member, he's one of the members of the leading developers, not only in India, but also Dubai. That's SOBHA developers who have done some of the best projects in Dubai and in India, and I believe they're also opening up opportunities in the US. Vineet, do let us tell all of us, what are the advantages of investing in Dubai? What are the advantages of, and the projects that you're offering today to the Indians, the benefits that it has, and anything that you'd like to talk about on your projects?
Thank you for this opportunity. Good evening, everyone. So I had a brief session where we discussed about what are the opportunities that lies in Dubai. First and foremost, the rental return and appreciation in the real estate market that has happened in Dubai is phenomenal for the last 5 years. We have seen a growth of properties for at least 50 to 60%, especially when you buy an off-plan property in Dubai, and when it gets handed over in, say, 3 years or 2.5 years, you get something around 30 to 40% of appreciation in properties that we have seen for last, at least post-COVID, there has been a phenomenal growth. Why? Because I think in the COVID, as you said, there are so many millennials that are there in India itself. But in COVID, when there was a situation that they wanted good medical assistance or a lifestyle that they wanted to be, they really had to struggle with that money in their pocket. And that's where there was a trend that grown up where we have to find a second home nearby, just 3 hours away, and with all the amenities that one can have in his wish list, with the quality of life, safety, security. Women can go out 3 a.m. in the morning without even telling their fathers where they are going. And all this has allowed us, Dubai, to become a second home for people, especially for Indians, as we are sitting in Hyderabad right now. And so appreciation was there, a second home, aspirational second home is there. And the third and most important is the rental return. Across the world, the rental return has been somewhere around 2% to 3%. Even if we look at the properties in India, you don't find anything more than 4% any part of the India. That too would be very generous if I say 4%. Dubai offers a rental return of 8 to 10%. Very, very lower limits of, no exaggeration, to be honest. So 8 to 10% is something that you're earning on your property of investment. You earn an appreciation and then you earn a rental return. And that's the story that SOBHA is writing in Dubai. So
thanks, Vineet. Thanks, Vineet. Just a little bit of statistics. Worldwide, the UAE is expected to see an influx of around 6,700 millionaires, whilst US and Canada are expected to see about 3,800 and 3,200 respectively. UK, whilst there is an exodus, it is also a hot favorite for many Indians. whilst around 1,200 millionaires are expected to migrate to Greece in 2024 and 2,500 to Australia. I now take this line of questioning to Girish Mohile. Girish, you represent CMB, Regional Center USA, and you're here to promote the EB5 program. How does the EB5 investor program enhance the appeal of US real estate investments for Indian investors? Can you briefly share the process? How long does it typically take? What are the advantages? And what is the advice that you would give the customers and our people here who would like to explore the EB5 option?
Sure. So firstly, thank you, Reshmi, for this question. I think it's very relevant. But before I begin, I think there is one more fun fact, because I don't know whether that's for sure or not. But since I was getting out of the airport, I read this hoarding which said that Hyderabad has the second largest population of ultra-high net worth individuals. So we are sitting in front of the right audience, and I thank IREX for arranging this particular event. So your question is very relevant when it comes to US real estate and EB5. It's a different offering, a unique flavor or a unique offering that EB5 has. It's an investment-based visa where the main applicant, spouse, and children below 21, unmarried, are able to gain permanent residency in the US by making a qualifying investment. Now, what I mean by qualifying investment is, from US perspective, EB5 program is a job creation program. How are the jobs created? These jobs are created through real estate constructions, mostly. You will find that all the EB5 opportunities which are out there in the market are related to real estate and construction. The only key difference which I would want to shed some light on is between other golden visa programs or other investment programs versus EB5 is that you're not directly investing into the real estate. Rather, you're investing in a business which is going to fund or help construct that particular project by creating those jobs. That is one of the key differences. So you don't own the real estate per se, but you're helping the job creation, economic development in the US through that real estate construction. So that is how EB5 is closely linked to the real estate market in the US, and that is why we need to ensure, while conducting due diligence as to the EB5 opportunities that you might be looking for, is the macro and the microeconomic aspects which are linked to that real estate as to what kind of asset class makes sense at that particular point in time. So let's say in pre-COVID times, hotel construction projects or resorts were in vogue. But after COVID, the demand has shifted towards more vanilla projects, such as industrial logistics projects, wherein we know that even during COVID times, this was one of the asset classes which was relatively unharmed. I won't say completely unharmed, but the demand. So when it comes to any supply chain management, you know that you need space either to move the material or to store the material. So from that perspective, different kind of asset classes, irrespective of what the timelines are, those become relevant. So I think that is one of the important issues which someone who is looking to invest in US via EB5 visa, they need to consider this particular aspect of things.
Thank you so much, Girish. I'd like to now request Leena Motwani, Vice President of Arton Capital, who's representing the Caribbean islands and Hungary. I believe that you can get a citizen by investment program for the Caribbean islands and a permanent residency program for Hungary. Leena, could you elaborate on the visa and citizenship by investment program available in the Caribbean islands and Hungary, and how they're facilitating business and real estate investment? And how has the tourism industry in the Caribbean islands and the technology and the innovation sector developing in Hungary evolved recently? And what are the prospects for foreign investments?
Sure. Thank you. So Caribbeans have been doing this direct citizenship by investment for a couple of years now, though it was not very popular in India. But I think post-COVID, the major reason was for mobility and having a good retired life and access to different, basically no boundaries. That's what we believe in. And the direct citizenship programs, which you can avail within 6 to 8 months, are the direct Caribbean programs. Having said, which is Antigua and Barbuda, Grenada, St. Lucia, St. Kitts and Dominica, 5 of them. As we sit today, these programs have also changed their requirements, eligibility criteria, and minimum investments. The only limited time window we have at this moment till the end of this month is for Antigua and Barbuda. These are direct citizenship programs, as I said. There is no requirement to visit these countries, stay there. There is no minimum age criteria, eligibility. It's pretty simple. There are two categories of investments, sometimes three, namely bonds, donation, and real estate. Majorly, you can include all the applicants under the same umbrella of investments, which is the first family. Some of them allow siblings. Some of them allow parents and parents-in-law as well. So it's very lucrative in terms of investment and a direct citizenship. Having said that, with India, the challenge is, as we all know, that India doesn't allow dual nationality. So not many people are comfortable surrendering their Indian passport. However, OCI is widely and very easily available. Still, there are other programs which probably people would want to take, and hence Hungary is another program that we are Arton Capital is the only licensed agent, basically, starting for Hungary visa. It used to be called as Hungary Golden Visa before, which was discontinued in March 2017. It's come up with a new regulation and a new requirement, which is now giving you a 10-year investor visa with a minimum investment of 250,000 in a fund. So this, Reshmi, is like a real estate fund. Again, the fund manager is going to invest in ready properties or projects or investment construction related. There is an application fee, and again, you can, the entire family gets the residency permit, I would say. It's like a 3 months process again, and in case the applicants happen to stay in Hungary and speak the language, they get the citizenship. It's like any other European program. But we see a lot of traction happening in Hungary. Right. I think it's a very popular program being in India between Portugal and Hungary, yes.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Leena. I'd like now to speak to Alaa Al-Shishani, the head of International Regional Brokerage Department, Ariane Real Estate. You're right, today you're the only one who's representing Qatar. We had a couple of companies last time, and it's great to know the kind of incentives that you all are offering to welcome Indians and other prospective purchasers to Qatar. And so much is being done in the infrastructure, etc. Could you just tell our viewers today, what are the key visa and residency options available for foreign investors in Qatar? And how are they supporting the country's investment landscape? What are the job opportunities available for Indians? In case they do decide to take a golden visa, what do you think are the areas where there are good job opportunities? And which are the key locations and projects that you would advise the audience to explore? Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Ms. Reshmi. I saw you during my presentation. You were sitting there. Thank you so much. Actually, first of all, to answer your questions, the key locations to invest in Qatar are mainly located in a city that has been being constructed since the last decade, which is called Lusail City. This city has been constructed to reshape the future of Qatar, to go in alignment with the country's vision of 2030. Now, this city, as I have mentioned previously in my presentation, I once again say the country has invested so much into its infrastructure, into the amenities and the facilities that it provides to sustain a valuable life for its citizens and investors, of course. Now, the nice thing about this project is, which is why I'm focusing on it mostly and why we always from Qatar focus on it, because it offers freehold ownership of the property. And its prices is very, very, very competitive in regards to other locations which are located in Qatar itself, of course, and any other locations in the region. So that said, I hope that answers that question. Moving on to the second part where Indian nationals can find job opportunities in the country. Now, as for me, I have lived for the past 6 years in Qatar. I have many Indian friends, especially working with me in our company and any other people who I have met, whether they are customers, clients, or whether they are just friends that I have met during my 6 years in Qatar. Now, there are a lot of researches that state which of most nationalities work in many sectors. I would say for me personally, I have seen Indians, let's say, glowing in the health sector. They are doing very well in the banking sector, and of course the education section as well, the sector as well of the country. Now, this all has been provided by the government itself, by the vision of the country itself, for its vision, as I have said, for 2030. Qatar is a very welcoming place for Indian nationality, for any nationality in the world. I believe we have proved that.
Are the Indians 25% of the population?
No. I'm saying we are very welcoming. To Indians, there's about 600,000 Indians in Qatar. I was saying that Qatar is a very welcoming place for all nationalities, Indian and all other nationalities. I believe we have proved that during our World Cup hosting back in 2022 and other events, of course. As I have said, thanks to the infrastructure, thanks to all the investments that is currently occurring in Qatar, Indian nationals can find a job anywhere they want. And of course, as I have mentioned, not only that, they can open their own businesses and investments.
Right. So a lot of people are familiar with Dubai, investing, traveling, etc. And Qatar is really closing in and moving. And I believe that there's a great value add and capital appreciation opportunity for investment in Qatar. And we really look forward to more and more in such interactions and seeing Qatar presence in all these exhibitions. I'd now like to speak to Katerina Saranti. Welcome. You're the Business Development Manager of MIBS Group, Greece. Can you detail the Golden Visa program in Greece and how it has impacted foreign investment in the country?
Hello. I'm Katerina, and I am from Greece, from MIBS Group. Regarding the European investment program that we have right now in Greece, is the most famous and popular regarding Hungary. That is going to be also a main competitive for us, but also the procedure that we offer is totally different from Hungary, because the minimum amount of investment in a real estate asset is 250,000 euros. And also we have a different zone that is 500,000 euros. Regarding some changes of the law that is going to be existing from 1st of September, some of the areas of Greece is going to increasing the minimum amount at 800,000 euros and 400,000 euros. But this new law has still some exceptions that they are saying that if you convert the permit of the building that is an office building or a commercial one to a residential, you still can apply with a minimum threshold of 250,000 euros. In our company, we are following the trend, and we are really want to be on the line and to be effective for our clients and to secure a very easy and smoothly investment. We already invest in an area of Piraeus in Athens, in a very big project that is going to be more than 100 units, that 1st of September, all the clients, they can apply with a minimum amount of 250,000 euros.
Right.
So regarding the destination of Greece and Athens,
Yes.
regarding as a destination, it's very attractive because it's one of the, Athens is ranking through the report of Knight Frank.
Yes.
It was one of the top 5 cities among 107 for the house marketing.
That's right.
And also regarding Europe, we still have the most competitive and the lowest prices for on the real estate market per square meter for the apartments.
Do you see a lot of Indians queuing up to buy real estate in Greece?
Yes, look, to be honest, India market needs to be a little bit more educated with Greece.
I agree.
And the program, because we have many common things. I mean, we are working together for many years about our history.
Right.
As you know, India is a Greek word. It means India. It became from a Greek history and philosophy. So also our relations as a countries.
And it's one of our favorite tourist destinations for a lot of Indians. And I'm sure a lot of you sitting here have visited Greece on holiday, but it'll be great to know more and more about an opportunity to get a permanent residency or a golden visa in Greece. And we look forward to further interactions in the years ahead. My question now goes to Till Neumann. Managing Partner, Citizen Lane, Malta, Germany, and Austria. What are the key visa and residency options still available for foreign investors in Malta, Germany, and Austria? And how have these processes changed recently?
We're working out of our office in Malta a lot with the Global Tax Residence Program, which is quite interesting for people who just want to reside in a low tax jurisdiction in Europe and to get a residence permit through that. Basically, it's possible to get a residency with just a tax payment of 15,000 euros and the purchase or rental of a property, which is quite unbeatable in the European residency program market, because anywhere else you would need to invest at least a couple of hundreds of thousands in a property. Malta offers the option to just rent the property. This is, of course, a situation due to the restricted nature of the market in Malta. So they don't want to heat up the real estate market even more because it's already going a lot. And there's already a shortage of property, which on the other hand, if you buy property and let it out, is an excellent opportunity to make certain returns, because the ratio between the property value and the rental values is very much in favor of the owners. Then we were talking about some other countries like Austria, and which one did you want to know about? Germany?
Germany.
Germany.
Yes.
There were actually not much changes in the recent years, and in Austria and Germany we actually focus mainly on the business investment. So our clients do investments in companies, and we help them to acquire residency permits. So we structure their company, help them with the business plans, negotiate in front of the authorities the residence permit, because only qualifying companies can avail a residence permit in Germany and in Austria, which needs to be decided case by case by the authorities. As I already said, there were not really changes recently. Even in Malta, there were no changes recently. There was in Malta, of course, there's also the permanent residence program, which is now active, I believe, for already 2 years. That was a not so recent change.
Right.
But also this program is very interesting, as it gives the investors a residence permit in the Schengen countries for a 5-year period, which can be indefinitely renewed, and also inherited to the children, also the new upcoming children, which is different to some of the other residence programs. So even newborn children can be included easily into this, and it comes with a low investment amount of only 300 to 350,000 euros in property, and administrative fees of between 60 and 100,000.
Okay. At the risk of repeating myself, and you would have heard all the eminent panelists throughout the day, if you want to really compare various countries in terms of, let me start with a round of questions to all of you. For your respective country that you're representing, can you tell us the yearly capital appreciation and yield that you're currently getting for your country? And this will be of interest to a lot of customers here who are looking at investments abroad. So Vineet, what's the kind of capital appreciation that your country is witnessing, as well as the appreciation in rental yields?
Great. So as we were discussing, typically a capital appreciation that you can see with the projects that we have been delivering, me as in particular, we don't come from a visa industry, but of course, we come from
SOBHA
real
projects,
estate. Yes.
yeah.
So we come from real estate background, and we tell you the real thing that happens over there. So typically from off plan to ready, which is a time span of 2.5 years to 3 years time span, you get an appreciation of 30 to 40% increase. And on an annual basis, a rental return can fetch you something around 8 to 10%, depending on properties and locations.
That's really high compared to compared to India as well.
Yes.
Katerina, what about Greece?
technically, Greece is not like Dubai, because Greece, yes, nothing like Dubai. Greece belongs to Europe. I mean, we cannot guarantee and we cannot offer this kind of returns, to be honest. And this is the main problem that we faced with the Indians that invest in Dubai, to be honest. In Greece, we have around 10 to 15% of capital appreciation, and the rental yield can be achieved from 4 to 5%. We have a very big increase in prices of the rents every year, around 8%. At the moment, we can say, because we have also real estate background as a company, we are a construction company, we can say that it's 4 to 5% right now, 2024. We need around 2 years to complete the project normally, with normal conditions in Europe. So it can be expecting much higher, but it's more safely to stay that.
Investment is much lower in Greece.
Yes.
So that's an advantage.
And it's different, the economy. I mean, it's many factors that they can make these numbers.
Of course. Leena, what about the Caribbean islands and Hungary? Or what is the other aspect that is really beneficial to investors sitting here?
I can't put them in the basket of investments at all, and I cannot promise or even dream of such kind of ROIs on this.
Right.
But I think these programs get you different aspects. That's global mobility, education, retirement plans, tax benefits, and health and education. So these programs, they may have the window or the path to take the investments, but in the long term, what you receive is permanent residencies and citizenships. So these are much different than the investments.
Great. Thanks, Leena. Girish, New York, Chicago, cities in New York, cities in the US, what are the kind of capital appreciation that you witnessed?
Right. From an EB5 perspective, I wouldn't be able to answer, because when you talk about EB5, it's not based on the return on investment.
Right.
Rather, the return on investment is the green card.
Yes.
However, we do have another entity. So we just had a previous presentation on NHK. That entity works in a similar fashion, but it has no immigration advantage to it. The sole reason for NHK to be formed was to invest in the real estate within the US through an institution. So that is not usually available for retail investors, but we have come up with a structure where an individual investor can invest a minimum of 100,000 US dollars through the channel, which is structurally similar to EB5, but it can be a debt or an equity or an pure equity as well. And from those, what we have seen in the previous projects is that we are looking at an equity multiple of 1.45 to 2x within a span of 3 to 4 years as well. So again, you're not owning the real estate, but you're helping development and construction of those projects through that equity investment. So it's going to be a pooled investment of 100,000 and above each. And depending on our analysis, we see that within 3 to 4 years, you can have a great IRR of say 17 to 25%, depending on when the exit happens. So
that's awesome. Shishani, right?
Shishani.
Yes.
Shishani.
Tell us about Qatar. Where do you see the kind of capital appreciation and the rental yields in Qatar?
All right. So in Qatar, I'd like to be conservative with my numbers. However, in capital appreciation, we're talking about 6 to 7% on yearly basis for ready properties. Now, talking to under construction properties and off-plan properties up until handover, whether it's 24 to 36 months until handover, we're talking about an appreciation of minimum 20%. Now, this can go higher because for us in Ariane real estate, even ROI rates, we're talking about averagely 8%. However, those numbers can be higher because, of course, we offer a payment plan option.
Right.
So what we're offering is even after handover, we're offering 2.5 years payment plan. So once calculated with your capital investment, and if you do resale, you haven't invested the full amount.
Right.
So your capital appreciation is much higher.
It's much higher.
I've had clients and customers who have purchased with us. They have done the same thing. They didn't pay off the full amount. Somebody else came in instead of them. They paid off the amount. They made approximately 34% on their capital investment.
That's really impressive. Till, I'm not going to ask you about capital appreciation for Malta, Germany, and Austria, but why Germany, why Malta, why Austria? Why should one invest here? Tell us the key advantages that you would like to leave behind with our viewers.
I focus on business investments because it's a personal decision. I run my own company, and I just find it much more interesting to deal every time with a new client, with a new project. And currently I'm trying to focus a bit more on sustainable projects.
Yes.
So in this regard, we can contribute more to our future of all of ourselves. And there are interesting projects I'm trying to realize now with my clients. For example, there are new technologies about pyrolysis, for example. Some of you might have heard about pyrolysis technology, which exists already a long time, but always had a little trouble to get off the ground. What is pyrolysis? It's basically the reconversion or the real recycling of plastic, making out of plastic, again, an oil which can be reused, which is technically possible for a long time, but never has been commercially really realized. And I'm kind of proud to partner now with a company, which is just about to happen very soon, who seem to have made significant advances in this technology to make it commercially viable. So by working on projects together with my clients, I'm hoping to build a better future.
Thank you so much, Till. Now I'd like to ask each of you, what advice would you give potential Indian customers if they wish to invest, Vineet, in SOBHA Realty or in Dubai? What are the key points that they need to keep in mind when they're investing in real estate abroad? And I'd like to pass this question on to all of you, turn by turn.
Great. So when somebody is looking to invest in Dubai in particular, or any place for that matter, real estate typically operates in a similar fashion all across the world, though, to be honest. And most important is location. I think location serves the most important role. One, it should be relevant. If not relevant today, it should be relevant tomorrow. So that's the whole story where the real estate operates all across the world. That also operates in Dubai. So if you are somewhere around downtown, in proximity, if you are somewhere around the growing spaces of Dubai, in the Marina region, you have a safer bet. And with a good developer, a credible developer, quality focus, especially Dubai is a place where very nuanced quality is kept in note, and people always wish to look for an upscale site to stay. It's basically a market which is very much people's home. It's a second home that it is known for. So when you're looking for some place for a home of yourself, you ensure that you live in a very quality place. And that's where you should invest in a good location, good developer. And that's the key to Dubai's investment and return.
So good location and a good developer is what Vineet would advise all of you. Katerina, tell us about Greece. How should one be careful whilst investing in Greece?
I agree with Mr. Kumar after their intern, but okay.
Yes.
That also, I mean, everyone in a real estate market, when you decide to make an investment, most of our clients, they want to feel it. It's not it's a pure investment, but you need to feel it.
Agreed.
So you need, on the real estate market, is location, location, location. In Greece also we have this motto, and also as a company we follow this motto.
Right.
You need a trustful and very good developer, as Mr. Kumar mentioned. But also I would like to note another thing for the golden visa procedure, that you need to find a developer to provide you the holistic package about the procedure also, the legal part of the golden visa. As a company, we provide A to Z services.
Do all developers do that?
No, it's not normal in Greece to do that. They are not doing all the developers, but we decide to follow this is the policy of our company for many years, because this is how you can keep the client, and how it's going to be happy to not caring about anything, to trust you with close eyes, let's
And
say.
they need a one-stop solution rather than figuring out buying a property here and then going to...
We always suggest to make the due diligence about the property, to feel secure that they invest in a secure firm, in a secure developer. And also, regarding the law firm, we always make an intro to the law firms that we have very good relations and corporations to avoid conflict of interest to promote our internal lawyer.
Of course. Leena, what about you?
I think we Indians love investments. We all have investment in gold, property, everything. We have health insurances. We pay a lot of attention to that. I think this is an investment in your future generations. So I think it's a very important decision of your life. So do not prolong it for a pretty long time because options are narrowing down, eligibility criteria are changing, investments are going higher. So act now, ask questions, don't be afraid, and choose the right advisor.
Thank you. Girish, there are so many consultants for the EB5 program. What advice would you give our viewers here on how to select the right partner?
I think the most important thing over here is to look at the experience, ask right questions to all of them, and then pick and choose. Because what happens is, if you just Google, there is a lot of scattered information which is out there. So that is not a reliable source. That can be one of the sources for your information, but that's not the only source. So the important aspect over here is to pick and choose. At the end, the last part becomes the comfort factor, but the first part is not to trust anyone, but to ask the right questions. Try to satisfy yourselves with the data. So it's not just based on what I say or someone else says, but based on data as to whether there are any audited reports, whether there are any in-house reports which they have to present as to how the project is going to pan out, how the timelines are going to work, and work with those right people once you get that comfort.
Great. What about Qatar? And what advice would you give our customers and viewers on what are the points that one needs to be careful about?
Of course. Now, I always tell the clients that you need to take into consideration the steps in purchasing a property and the property valuation steps. Now, we need to take into consideration, of course, location is very important. Having all the amenities, facilities, infrastructure around is very important. As well, we need to take into consideration competition. But before all that, we need to think, we need to ask ourselves this question: what is the purpose of my investment? Is it a long-term, short-term?
Right.
Because this could greatly affect the decision of how to purchase this property.
Right. Until, what are your comments and what is your advice to our viewers here?
Say the first part again.
Yes. What is your advice to our viewers here on what are the factors that they need to keep in mind before they decide on which place to invest and how to go about investing?
As you meanwhile know, I'm dealing with entrepreneurs mainly, and there are a lot of personal questions to be talked about more. It's more about the attitude towards working and realizing their own investment, because I've seen some of my clients in the past who have big ideas, but fail a bit short on the execution then. And they lose a lot of money during these mistakes. And that's why I think it's very important to have the mind on the target and keep on going and keep on going and keep on going.
Thank you so much. I'd also like to caution all of you sitting here that before you decide to invest, you must understand the legal and tax implications as an Indian. Before investing, there are rules and regulations, and it's always important to go to the right consultant, the right tax and legal consultant, and you have a lot of options before you. So once you decide why exactly you want to invest in a particular country, and what, like you said, what's your long-term and short-term objective, then you start looking for the right consultants. And a lot of them are sitting here in this exhibition. Please do take their contact numbers, understand, thoroughly what are the pros and cons, and use the relevant advice before you make these investments, because there are so many factors that can go right and wrong, and it's always best to go with guided advice. I would like to now throw it open to the audience. Are there any questions that you would like to ask?
This is to Mohile, Girish Mohile. And you said one second program parallelly as an investor into the real estate, 100,000, 200,000 like that. And that can also be parallelly fetch some kind of a benefit like immigration.
No, so that is a non-EB5
Non-EB5.
investment opportunity.
But one can visit, since I have a property there, non-immigrant visas will be easier to go there?
So one thing we need to understand as far as US is concerned, that if you want to buy a property,
Yeah,
you can buy a property.
yeah, okay.
If you want to open a business, you can do that virtually. You don't need any visa to do that, right? However, once you have a business or once you have real estate, in order for you to able to access, be in the US, then there is a visa required. And that depends as to what your intention is. So if you want to stay in that property, then you will need that kind of visa. Meaning, you will need to be a permanent resident over there. Or you can have a visitor's visa and you can stay for a couple of months. But the expectation is for you to come back. So a visa is something which is going to grant you access to the country. What you do in the US even if you are not in the US, like forming a business or purchasing a property or doing investment, that has nothing to do with any visa. That you're free to do that even right now. Yeah.
That means it has no connectivity to the immigrant visa. As you rightly said,
Correct.
There is no connectivity between this and then the visa.
Right. If you need access to the US, you need the right visa.
Any other questions? Thank you so much. I think I would like to thank all of you for being present here, and I hope this session was useful. I'd like to also thank all the panelists, and in case you have any one-on-one questions, please feel free to reach out to them. Happy investing. We really look forward to all of you taking something out of this evening today, and wish you all the very best. Thank you.